AITA. Am I the a-hole for telling someone who called me fat that I had a miscarriage? I, female, 22, just had a miscarriage. I was far enough along I had put on about 15 pounds. I went to visit a friend and when he saw me he said, "Boy, you've put on some weight since I last saw you," and I snapped and told him that I just had a miscarriage a week ago, and hadn't lost the baby weight yet. Every single time he sees me he feels the need to comment on my weight and I got sick of it. I had an eating disorder and was too skinny when we met, so I put on weight since then. I think it's something you really shouldn't comment on unless someone specifically asks you to. Anyway, he said that it was uncalled for and then his wife said the same thing and they asked me to leave. AITA? Am I the a-hole? Definitely NTA, not the a-hole. These people are not your friends. First, they comment on your weight? Not okay for any friend. Second, they're mad that you said you'd had a miscarriage. Definitely not okay. NTA. Not the a-hole. These people are not your friends. Story time. Several years ago I packed on around 25 pounds in a few months, which was extremely unusual for me. My mom and her husband sat me down while I was over for one of my many weekend visits, and said they had noticed the recent weight gain. Was everything okay? I suddenly felt like I was in an intervention and they listed off all the ways in which I was exhibiting my sadness, and now it was physically visible to others. After having grown up being taught that being skinny was extremely important, going through disordered eating off and on, and wearing a new size, I was already aware and ashamed, adding to the depression I was seeing a professional for. I burst out laughing and said, "Really? Why am I sad?" And then I couldn't say it the obvious reason. My mom was dying from pancreatic cancer and she didn't know why I'd be depressed. In the end, I ate those feelings, too, and ended up just shrugging and saying, "I guess I don't know and I'll work on it." Anyhow, yeah. People know they put on weight and talking about it is only going to make them feel worse. NTA. He said what you said is uncalled for. What's uncalled for is constantly commenting on someone's weight. NTA. Honey, he's not your friend. Friend don't body shame their friends. NTA. Not the a-hole. If this friend makes comments like this all the time, then I would question if they are really your friend. Also, the fact that they thought you were in the wrong instead of just apologizing and asking how you're doing is gross. I'm sorry you're going through this. I hope you're doing okay. NTA. So they get to comment on your body, but you don't get to comment on your body? Doesn't make much sense. Here's a good tip I've learned. If they can't fix it in 5 minutes or less, don't comment on it. Food in teeth? Easily fixed. Smudged makeup? Easily fixed. Stray hair? Easily fixed. Wait. Not easily fixed. You get the point. An OP is definitely NTA. But this was a good thing to happen, because you said that almost every time you see him, he comments on your weight, and that's super toxic. I would stop talking and associating with him and his wife if I were you. He doesn't seem good for your mental health, Imo. And lastly, I'm sorry about your child. I know nothing I say will make the pain any better, but they are looking out for you from heaven. NTA. He's the a-hole for constantly bringing up your weight and his wife is the a-hole for acting as though that behavior is okay. NTA. But maybe stop hanging out with these people, because that sounds terrible. NTA. I think there are layers of problems attached to this post, specifically how your friend has been commenting on your weight for quite some time. Regardless if you spoke with him about the eating disorder or not, his behavior is way out of line. Then him and his wife telling you that you're out of line for explaining that you'd gained weight due to a pregnancy is ridiculous. However, I have a question: why didn't you correct his behavior in the past when we first began making harmful comments? Simply asking for reasoning such as you just didn't want to cause a fight, too shy/non-confrontational, believed him, etc. NTA. He deserves it. I'm sorry to hear about your miscarriage. I hope standing up to this jerk made you feel better for at least a few minutes. Also, these people aren't your friends at all. Might be time to end this relationship. There is something missing from this story. Who throws someone out after just being told they had a miscarriage? Info. Where is the moral conundrum here? What were he and his wife referring to when they said, "That was uncalled for," and kicked you out? Did you go off on a profane tirade? Or did you literally just tell them you had a miscarriage? If the latter, how do you think you could possibly be the a-hole here? Definitely NTA. First, I'm so sorry for your loss. The last thing you should have been dealing is with someone talking shit about your body. Don't let anyone fat shaming you, it's your body. And assuming you buy your food with your money, is nobody's business. Your body exists to please one person, and this is you. NTA, and I am sorry for your loss. Information is a weapon when properly managed, and it sounds like this jerk has had many chances to learn to back off already. You wielded the info bludgeon with skill and discretion, and from the sound of his response, it sounds like it struck home. Sadly, this does not guarantee that he has learned his lesson, but it at least has some chance. NTA. Sorry you went through a miscarriage. Unfortunately, even though they are surprisingly common, people still just hate to hear and think about it, so I feel like that's where their discomfort may have come from. This isn't to excuse them though. He is 100% the off for commenting on your weight at all, and instead of trying to be supportive in your loss, they decided to get offended and kick you out. NTA. He has no right to comment on yours or anyone else's weight. How dare he? NTA. Hopefully this teaches him to stop being awful and routinely comment about people's weight. I'm so sorry for your loss. Also dump them as friends. They sound pretty terrible. The thing about being in your early 20s is you finally realize that certain people you think of as friends, maybe you were in college or high school with them, or they were part of a group, are not your friends, and you don't have to have anything to do with them. This is someone who harasses you about your weight, knowing you've had issues with it in the past, feels entitled to flat out insult you, you've put on weight, and then when you confide about a really difficult tragedy you've just experienced, gets angry and tells you to leave. I have friends with eating disorders, and the last thing I would ever do is even mention their weight, let alone insult them. He's a total negative in your life. Stop spending any time with him or his terrible wife, and use that time to make real, kind, supportive friends. NTA, but. Right, so you had an eating disorder. So the fact you've put weight on is a good thing. He is trying to root for you. The fact you had an eating disorder, that stopped you from eating, means it was probably noticeable to the people around you. So when he sees that you've gained weight, for him it's a good thing. You are now healthier. Also, you probably obsess over your weight far too much, so any innocuous comment that refers to your weight, you're going to take far too seriously. You're not an asshole. I have had weight issues and eating disorders all my life. I understand the pressure of being perfect, but neither is he. 1. He didn't know about any kind of pregnancy of miscarriage. 2. He is seeing you looking healthier and has commented in a positive way. Just explain to them why you said what you said. Don't throw away a friend. NTA at all. You don't talk to people like that. As a big guy myself, I hate it. I'm working on it though. he was being insensitive, his wife too. If you can't handle the truth, don't talk about certain topics. I get it, this scenario doesn't apply to everyone, but still, I'm the type who would talk crap back. I'm sorry for your loss, I hope you find better friends as well.